friends, Jai Hind. Welcome to this new podcast of Indian military anecdotes brought to you by Viva Life Skills trainers and consultants. In this podcast, we have with us Colonel Sanjay Tabib, a distinguished military officer with a wealth of experience in leadership, strategy, and storytelling. Yes, storytelling. With a career spanning over 2 decades, Colonel Tabib has served in various roles, shaping his unique perspective on courage, resilience, and determination. He has been a great friend to me, and of course, above all, he is my co-mate. Colonel Sanjay was originally posted to 13 Jack Riff, Jammu and Kashmir Rifles Battalion. This is the famous battalion which participated in the Kargil War of 1999 and gave a great hero, the late Captain Vikram Batra, who was awarded Param Veer Chakra posthumously. After serving 13 Jacriff for about 5 years, he moved on to the Assam Regiment and spent his balanced army career there. In this podcast, he narrates an incident which happened while he was commanding a post at the China border in the tough snow clad mountainous terrain. Through this podcast, Sanjay shares an inspiring story, bringing out some insightful lessons. So let's move on and see what Colonel Sanjay Tabib has to tell us.
So over to you, Sanjay. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Anil. It's been such a privilege to be here, and we are old friends from 1979-80. So, talking to you is always a pleasure. As you already introduced me, that I was commissioned into 13 Jackrif, Kargil Battalion, most decorated late Captain Vikram Batra of that unit.
Right.
And I was commissioned in that unit and then served there for nearly 4.5 years. Yeah, after that, I came to 12 Assam, which is a newly raised on trial basis, mixed composition of troops. In 1986, we were inducted into Tenga Valley. Tenga Valley was base. And for some reasons, we had to go to the LOC area where bordering Chinese. So we went there. And then I was in a place called Damga Gigi. All these grazing grounds. Gigi is a grazing ground. So, that I was post commander there. And then I was tasked to it was not a LRP, it was a recce patrol. Carry out the reconnaissance of the areas where the Chinese presence or something. This is a normal task. There was no special task. Yeah, there was no special task given to me. So I used to take my patrols, and it is always good to be out of your tent because, the temperature is minus 10, 20 degrees. If you stick to your tents, your complete digestive system, your body system goes for a 6. You have to keep moving.
Keep yourself
yeah. So, and there is lack of oxygen also.
Correct.
And there is no sun. Another problem in that area is that you for months together you will not see the sun rays.
No sun, yeah.
So whatever it is, so I used to be very active. I used to take out patrols and go and check the passes. Like there are Bumla, Sulula, and Lungrola. Now finally, and then there was a place called Sirocha. Everywhere you will find bunkers made there. Okay. From from the time the army has been there, Indian army has been there. Every commander, every top level commander, he has been always anticipating that this particular feature must be occupied. So he carried out making
combination,
trenches and all that. So everywhere there are trenches. So one such routine patrol, I was to go to Lungrola Pass and come back by evening. Evening means you have to come back by 4 o'clock. That is
the last light, before last light.
Yeah, because after that you can't see.
It becomes dark there.
It snows very heavily there. So we started pretty early, and when I reached Lungrola Pass, I found there are some telltale marks. Chinese, kept under a stone, big stone. It was snowing badly. They had kept in a very place where prominently it could be seen, right? So I found the cigarette packet, Chinese cigarette packet, nodal packets and all that. I said, that means Chinese have come here and they have left the telltale. So I didn't rest there. Then I went with few couple of Jawans, two, three Jawans of mine. I went on the other side, that is the reverse slope of the pass.
Right.
And then I found when I went down about 400 500 meters, see, the clock was running fast for me. I had to go back also
Yeah.
because my task was to recce and come back.
Right.
My task was not to stay there.
Correct.
So
Correct.
occupy. And I had not come prepared for that also. So when I went there, I found Chinese tents there. So
Chinese
you see,
what?
tents,
Tents.
tents,
Okay.
yeah,
Oh.
tents.
Hmm.
And then I came back and I said, because I was not in a position to, dislodge them or
Yeah. Correct.
fight
Yeah.
with
You were
them
not.
there.
Yeah. You were not
Yeah.
armed that
So
way. You.
because
Yeah.
I had to gather information,
Yeah.
and I had to gather information, and then take a decision from the my superiors as to how to tackle them.
What next? Yeah.
So therefore, I was told to hold on to the. I sent a small patrol of four boys because there was no communication there to a nearest place called Sungetsar, and from there the cover was given that there are these people are there. So the message which came back to me was an order to stay back there. And now it is snowing, rain, about what you call snowing. The wind chill factor is too much. In a pass, the wind is coming from left, right, center, and
Yeah.
all that. There's
And
no
the
shelter,
passes
nothing.
get terrible.
Yeah, yeah. There's no shelter. There's no place to come, and no toilet, nothing. We stayed there for good about 5 6 days. I had to stay there. I was ordered to stay there
Hmm.
because should the Chinese come up and all that, we had to counter them. And this all these places, I would call them virgin places because after 62, nobody had moved there much. So the tracks were not proper. They were not even beaten tracks. You had to find your way,
Hmm.
and man packed. You have to go, and it was totally, whatever it is. I was asked to occupy a place called Caifo. Now, Caifo is a place from where you can see the Chinese tent in Guangdong. That place, on a clear day, which was very rare to get a clear day.
Very
But
rare.
whenever there was a clear day, you could see the Chinese camp in a far distance, Guangdong. We started occupying the dominating places. Chinese started moving, and most of the movements used to be at night, and there were firing incidents and all that. So it is like this is my jaga, and I'll go and occupy. So they will also Chinese by their psychology, or they always want to force themselves. They always want to spray. They want to lean on. They want to occupy. They have the psyche of
Tendency
expansion,
of doing that. Yeah.
expansion. So when I was in CAFO, for some time I was asked to relieve the officer who was in one of the battalion defended localities, that was Negispur. So I went there, and the configuration of the spur and the deployment there was, we were on the top of the spur, and that spur was going down into the Chu,
Sumdrongchu Valley was.
Sumdrongchu, and on the lower heights of the spur, the Chinese were deployed, and we were eyeball to eyeball. You see, we had come so close in all these places. We had come so close that the distance between the Chinese troops and us were 5 meters, 10 meters, like that. Then it had so happened that we there was a barbed wire fence to demark. That side Chinese and this side us, right? So that was the thing, and the sentries used to be there. Chinese sentries on their side, our sentries on our side, and we had a lot of bunkers left and right. And that, the strength over there was about platoon plus. And Chinese also must have had similar strength down below. Their actual effort was to come up the spur, but we checked them and we stalled them there. And then as जैसे थे वो जहां पर थे वहां रुके, हम जहां पर थे वो. So our claim was there in our territory, which is right. And Chinese keep on claiming falsely that this is our territory, and that is, we all know that. So we were eyeball to eyeball, and the temperature was -10, -20. I don't know, because we never used to gauge the temperature that time, and it used to be always snowing. And as such, it was in a lower slope, so there was no question of sunlight and all that. And wind chill factor was too much. So one night, I was running very high fever. Perhaps I was exposed to cold, wind chill, and all that. The
Hmm.
brain was
Hmm.
also, head was spinning. So I was in my bunker and all that. And there was a Petromax. Uh, उसकी लाइट से, and I had some paracetamol, something, a sleeping bag में मैं सो रहा था. So, at around 1 o'clock or something, I heard shouts. They the our troops, our company was Tambi company, and सामने तो Chinese थे. So I heard shouts of Chinese in Chinese language. By now we knew कि they used to talk and we used to hear. So we knew कि this is Chinese language, and I heard some shouts from our uh, troops in Tambi also. Now both the languages I don't understand, but you can make out that the Tamil language and Chinese. So
Correct.
I said, "Yeah, what is happening? At this middle of the night, what is happening? Some chaos is there." So I threw off my sleeping bag. I said, "Yeah, fever or no fever," and there was no sentry outside my bunker also, because no need. I came out, opened a sort of makeshift kind of a what do you call it, door that we used to have for the bunker to stop the chill from coming in. I came out and I saw there was so much of light, glare, light, fire, reentrant which was going down from our side to a Chinese. I said, "ये तो आग लग गई है." I went down and I said, "आग लगी तो it is quite dangerous. It spreads. I know it spreads like hell, because the rhododendrons, which are the local, vegetation over there, it can catch fire, even though it is in snow." So that is what had happened. And perhaps, some burning coal, perhaps accidentally must have fallen from some top in the reentrant, and it got fire, it set the fire. So, it was spreading like hell, because the wind chill was so strong and in all directions. कभी इधर से आ रहा है, कभी उधर से आ रहा है. तो,
Wow.
हाँ, वो जंगल फायर टाइप सिचुएशन हो गया.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, भाई ये तो this is very dangerous. If the Chinese tents and all they catch fire, the Chinese would say there will be chaos. You see, then I don't know, when I crossed that fence, barbed wire I went down. I shouted at my sentry and all that. I said, "Tell the senior JC, get the whole platoon to extinguish the fire." Our troops came. I said, "Put stone, what do you call, मिट्टी, बर्फ, जो भी आपके हाथ में है उससे चिल्ला रहा था मैं, literally. And it was dark. You
Mm-hmm.
can't see who is next to you.
Yeah,
It is
midnight.
only,
Yeah.
it is because of the fire, light of the fire, that I could see little bit. And वो कभी up होता था, up होता था flames. That time I am seeing. When the flames are down, I cannot see anything.
Correct.
So when I went down, I was shouting there. I had forgotten myself, my identity. My only task, which was on my mind, to get this fire extinguished. So therefore, I was shouting at my troops कि जो भी है, डालो पानी, डालो ये डालो. तो पानी कहाँ से लाएगा, इतना पानी तो है, बर्फ, मिट्टी, पत्थर, जो भी डालो. And then suddenly I found myself surrounded by people who were shouting ni ho, something in Chinese.
Oh.
Huh. So I was so close to them, shoulder to shoulder to them. Huh? Then I looked at them. The soldier who was there, he also looked at me.
Oh.
You could have never been so close to each other so peacefully.
You didn't realize. You didn't realize.
Otherwise, because for two human beings, the military task was there. But the first thing is to extinguish the fire. They were affected because उनके तरफ आग बढ़ जाती, हम लोग भी affected थे, आग ऊपर भी बढ़ जाती थी. So they were fighting fire, we were fighting fire, and it was not planned. It was unmindful of opposite enemy's presence. We were all fighting the fire.
Correct.
And I was in the middle of my troops also were with me. Some of the Kambi bhais, kapus we call them. They
Yeah.
had come. They were fighting fire with me. So
Correct.
it was perhaps it was a mix of Chinese and us fighting the fire in close vicinity of each other. Otherwise, we would not have tolerated them. They also would have tolerated us to be so close to each other. For 2 hours nearly, the fire was brought under control. That was the biggest boon, I would say. Then I reported the matter. When the fire was detected, I had come back to my tent and I had reported to my commanding officer, this is what is happening. So he also reported the matter up there. So after 2 hours, when we were able to control the fire, then again I went back and I reported that everything is okay. And by the time it must have been 3 o'clock or something. And what sleep can you have after that? Huh? So went back, got up in the morning, 6 o'clock or something. I saw the twilight was coming up and daybreak without sun.
What's
Day is
happening?
breaking. All snow, all snow flakes are coming. Heavy snow. Snow का ऐसा है ना, कभी तेज हो जाता है, कभी
Yeah, it's like
धीमा
like
धीमा
rain,
हो जाता है.
like
Yeah,
rain.
yeah. So I came out of my tent. I could not sleep the whole night, of course, and nobody in my platoon locality, company locality could have also slept. I don't know about Chinese, but this was the thing. In the morning, I came out and my tent. I came out of my tent and went to the barbed wire fence area. Our sentry was standing. Their sentry was standing on their side. Our sentry was standing, manning our respective grounds. Barbed wire fence was intact, huh? And both the armies were doing their duty a lot, as given to them by their respective governments. So
Mm-hmm.
that is life. Why I chose to, there are so many episodes, there are anecdotes in everybody's life. But why I chose to, narrate this is because, in the adverse situations, the human factor, it plays a very big role.
True.
Normally, we Chinese and all, you cannot just intermix. ओके. अगर आप साथ में हैं तो उधर एक दूसरे के ऊपर हल्ला होगा.
So it's a very interesting story, Sanjay, and
Right.
brings out the quality of soldiers and officers, where restraint and clear understanding of the situation, not getting incited by something, and really controlling your senses and keeping a clear watch on the situation, the way it develops, and managing it well. I think that's what comes out of this story. So thank you very much, Sanjay. This has been a very interesting story, and I'm people are going to appreciate this. Thanks a
I,
lot. Thank you
I,
very much.